Revealed. Two miraculous words prophesied by the heavenly realm for your sacred transformation. Amelia knelt in the hallowed embrace of St. Mark's Church, the air thick with the unmistakable scent of hope and prayer. The flickering candles threw dancing shadows on the walls, like whispers from the divine. The sounds of laughter and life filled the vibrant English community outside. Yet inside, Amelia was enveloped in a burden too heavy to bear. Her father, a beloved figure among the congregation, lay writhing with a terminal illness, and it felt as though the very foundations of her faith were trembling under the weight of despair. As the prayers ascended like fragrant incense, a spark ignited within her a sudden, undeniable revelation. Trust and hope. The words resonated through her spirit, illuminating the dark corners of her doubt. In that moment the atmosphere shifted, thick with the palpable presence of something extraordinary. Amelia felt as if the heavens had drawn back a curtain, revealing a glimpse of divine reality. Tears streamed down her cheeks, no longer just from sorrow but from newfound strength coursing through her veins. Yet as her heart swelled with warmth, she felt the chill of skepticism from Mark, a close family friend who grappled to hold on to his own wavering faith. "Amelia," Mark challenged, his voice edged with bitterness, "how can you hope when reality says otherwise?" With each word the doubts he planted within her mind seeped like ink in water, darkening her newfound brightness. Their friendship, once solid as the ancient stones of their church, felt strained. Every medical appointment she pursued left her feeling more defeated, consumed by a desperation that threatened to drown her spirit. "Why can't you see?" She confronted him fiercely one evening in the church's quiet garden, the rustling leaves whispering secrets of faith and renewal. With every beat of her heart, she defended the miracle she felt deep in her core, her faith ablaze, like a beacon in the darkest night. Yet Mark's brow furrowed with confusion, caught between pain and an undeniable longing for the truth. Just then the joyous laughter of children playing nearby sliced through their charged silence, reminding them both of innocent belief, an echo of faith that reignited the tiniest flicker in Mark's heart. Before long, Amelia found herself rallying the church community for a grand prayer gathering, an event charged with anticipation and hope. As she stood on the dais, voices blending together like a beautiful hymn, she sensed the ever-thickening atmosphere of faith colliding with doubt. It felt electric. The murmurs of the believers filled her with divine urgency. Just as the last prayer was lifted to the heavens, something happened, a moment that left everyone breathless, stunned into silence. Amelia felt her heart pound, the room filled with awe and wonder. As she stood at the center of it all, her spirit renewed, yet her path shrouded in mystery. Would this miracle reshape their understanding of faith and healing? Could Mark let go of his skepticism? In that very moment, with doubts lurking in the corners, the air crackled with divine anticipation, leaving Amelia and her cherished community on the edge of revelation, grappling with the questions that hung in the air, whispering promises of the unfathomable transformation yet to come. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With heart still racing from the unforeseen event, Amelia felt the weight of possibility surrounding her and her community. Hope was tangible, yet would it be enough to dissolve the shadows of doubt? What divine answer awaited them in this intricate tapestry of faith and miracles? And as they stood together, the flicker of something surreal teased the edges of their dream, leaving all in the sacred moment wondering what was next in this unfolding journey of love and divine mystery. Amelia stood on the dais, her heart like a song in the silence that enveloped the room. Each breath felt weighted, an echo of the prayers that had just risen. The air shimmered thick with expectation, as if the entire church hummed with the whispers of angels. She could sense each soul present, their eyes gleaming with a flicker of hope. Each person was woven into this shared tapestry of faith. The moment stretched, filling the sacred space with a divine presence that made the hairs on the back of her neck stand tall. Then, like a gentle breeze brushing through the trees, a voice broke through the stillness. It was Mary, an elderly woman with hands that had feasted on prayer and tender care. "Let us be vessels of His grace," she proclaimed, her voice carrying the weight of years steeped in faith. Everyone nodded, an affirmation that spread like wildfire through the gathering. Amelia felt an urgency rise within her, the two words reverberating deeper: trust and hope. Surrounding her were the faces of dear friends, each carrying burdens of their own. Some bore silently the pain of loss, while others clung tightly to their fears. Each spark of hope glinted in their eyes, forged a connection, a community anchored in the bedrock of faith. Then the unexpected happened. Just as they began to pray in unison, a soft luminescent glow enveloped the altar. Gasps came from all directions as eyes widened in disbelief. Amelia felt the warmth of the light wash over her, lifting the weight of worry off her shoulders. The congregation fell silent, captivated by the luminous presence, the very embodiment of divine assurance that they had longed for. "Father," Amelia whispered, her heart racing, "let this light hold our pain." Her plea was fervent, yet infused with unwavering trust. She surrendered her father's suffering, her personal despair, into the brilliance that hovered before them. Mark, standing at the back, felt an electric thrill rush through him. The skepticism that had clouded his heart began to dissolve, like mist in the morning sun. He was drawn closer, unable to resist the pull of the sacred moment. As he stepped forward, he caught Amelia's gaze. She locked eyes with him, the fervor of her spirit urging him to embrace what he feared to believe. "Trust and hope," he murmured softly, a hesitant echo of what he had once dismissed so fiercely. The weight of his doubt felt lighter, revealing an unexpected longing for this divine truth. Suddenly the glow intensified, casting a warm light on all gathered, melting away fear and igniting a blessing of renewal. Laughter bubbled softly from children outside, a sound of innocent belief that seeped into the very bones of their gathering. It was as if the heavens poured down a cascade of joy, a reminder that within uncertainty lay the seeds of a miracle. Was this indeed a turning point? What would it mean for Mark, for Amelia, for her father? Each question drummed in their hearts, urging them deeper into the mystery of this gathering. As they left the dais to join hands, a palpable silence fell once more, a sacred pause heavy with anticipation. Would they embrace the light? Could it transform their deepest fears into a testament of divine love and healing? And in that moment of quiet expectancy, they knew something profound was stirring. What awaited them on this path towards faith and miracles? The promise of tomorrow shimmered at the edge, tantalizingly out of reach. The congregation, hand in hand, felt a gentle tremor in the air, a sacred energy that pulsed through their veins. It was as though an invisible force connected them, binding their hearts together in a shared promise of healing and hope. The light continued to shimmer, reflecting off faces that glowed with newfound purpose. Amelia looked around and saw Mark nodding, his expression softer now, the remnants of doubt replaced by a curious spark. "Let us lift our voices," Mary exclaimed, breaking the shared reverence. "Sing praises for his goodness." The invitation hung in the air like a sweet song waiting to be sung. Voices began to swell, rising in harmony, a beautiful cacophony of gratitude that enveloped the room. Each note felt like wings lifting despair, paving the path to grace. Amelia raised her own voice, feeling the power of the communal praise wash over her. It was no longer simply her burden. It felt now as if they were all carrying it, a shared weight that lightened with each heartfelt utterance. "His light is among us," someone shouted from the back, a joyous cry that ignited an echo of amen throughout the gathering. With each response, the light seemed to wrap tighter around them, as if the very presence of God was taking form within the walls of the church. Amelia felt invincible in that moment. The fear for her father's health felt far away, as she focused on the living trust they had, intertwined in the fabric of their faith. What if? She thought, her heart racing again. What if this is the dawn of something extraordinary? Just then a child's voice piped up, innocent and pure. "Can we make a wish?" The congregation paused, a soft laugh spreading and mingling with the glimmering light. The child's wide eyes radiated a deep, sincere yearning, untainted by doubt. "Of course we can," Amelia responded, her voice rich with conviction. "Let us wish together, trusting in God's love." As whispers of hope speckled the air, individuals began to voice their desires, their wishes for healing, for unity, for loved ones struggling. Each wish floated softly upward, caught in the gentle embrace of luminescence, lost to the dawn. Mark, feeling bold, closed his eyes, letting the Spirit guide him. I wish for my heart to be unburdened, for peace in my soul, for faith to grow like a seed. His voice was steadily soaking in care, vulnerability intertwining with newfound faith. The warm light enveloping them began to pulse rhythmically as each prayer rose, as if drawing nearer to their innermost desires. One by one, the faces of the congregation lit up with hope, eyes glistening with the promise that by acknowledging their deepest longings, they were one step closer to manifesting them. Trust and hope, Amelia repeated softly in her heart, believing in the sanctity of the moment. A truth deepened, for in surrendering their wishes, they were shaping the future, forging a bond with the sacred. Suddenly, the lights flickered, throwing a cascade of shimmering blessings upon the gathering. The atmosphere thickened with awe, and as all eyes darted towards the altar, they witnessed the light dance, like fireflies illuminated against the evening sky. Could this be a sign? Could this connection to the divine point them toward the miracles they sought? As the song of prayers floated into the heavens, anticipation draped over them, stirring a question that echoed within. What would unfold next? Their hearts beat as one, alive with the pulse of faith, ready for whatever awaited in the sacred mystery. It lay just beyond their grasp, shrouded in the light, beckoning them forward. The air was thick with expectation, and the congregation stood as if suspended in time. Every heartbeat filled with silent prayers, each breath rich with longing. Amelia felt warmth radiate from her chest, mingling with the shimmering light that enveloped them like a soft embrace. What would manifest from their wishes? As if in answer, the light at the altar shifted. It brightened, casting flickering shadows upon the walls like the fluttering of angels' wings. Gasps echoed, and Mary's voice crested above the murmurs. Look! His glory is revealed. Her eyes sparkled with a fervor that invited others to join her in witness. Amelia felt a gentle nudge at her heart, a calling. She turned to face the altar, where the shifting light now seemed to take shape. It blossomed and curled, forming a brilliant figure that shimmered with divine grace. The congregation fell silent, awe washing over them. Peace be with you, echoed through the church in a voice both thunderous and soothing, filling every crevice with warmth. It was the voice they had longed to hear, a call home, a promise fulfilled. Even Mark, who had often battled with doubt, found himself enraptured by the presence that could only be described as holy. Seek and you shall find, it continued, words woven with encouragement, offering strength where weakness faltered. You have cried out for help. Your wishes have reached the heavens. Now it is time to embody the faith you seek. Amelia's heart raced. The light twinkled brightly around her, and it felt as if the figure was calling her closer. She stepped forward, her feet nearly weightless, and felt a wave of exhilaration wash over her. Was she about to witness what she had only dreamed of? One by one, individuals in the congregation began to respond. We believe, was a resounding declaration from all corners, ignited by hope. This collective acknowledgement became a powerful force, pushing the light forward like the sun breaking over the horizon, radiant and pure. Your burdens are lifted, the voice proclaimed with resounding authority. Trust in me. The desires of your heart shall be fulfilled. But do not merely wish live. Tears spilled down Amelia's cheeks as she absorbed the weight of those prophetic words. Each tear felt like a prayer in itself, a release, a letting go of despair and a welcoming of miracles. She was not alone in this. The collective spirit became tangible and real. What if this was just the beginning? The spark that ignited faith into action and purpose. She turned to Mark, whose earlier hesitation vanished. He stood tall, eyes radiating warmth, whispering words of assurance to those around him. The very air buzzed with miraculous energy, lifting spirits and armored hearts. Can you feel it? Mark asked, his voice tinged with disbelief yet full of wonder. Something is happening, I senti it? Yes, believe it, Amelia exclaimed, feeling certain now. We are being transformed. We are part of something greater. As they shouted praises, the light pulsed in rhythm with their unwavering faith, weaving through them like threads of gold. The atmosphere brimmed with devotion and fervor, encouraging each believer to step closer to their divine calling. With hearts wide open, they awaited the transformation promised to come, not only for themselves but for the world beyond the church doors. As they stood in the light, hope bubbled within them, waiting to spill over and touch lives awaiting a miracle. What might this new reality entail? What divine plans awaited them outside the walls? The call to action stirred at the edges of their hearts, a whisper of urgency combined with faith. Whatever lay ahead felt monumental. Now the journey truly begins, Amelia thought, bracing herself for the unfolding mystery that lay just beyond. What would become of them all? The glow intensified, wrapping around each person like a comforting blanket. It was a sacred atmosphere, almost palpable, with faith igniting in every heart. Amelia glanced around the room, witnessing a tapestry of emotions: hope, yearning, and joy mingling as one. Step forward, the radiant figure beckoned gently, its presence omnipotent yet inviting. The command resonated deeply, igniting an urge to rise, to move. With trembling anticipation, Amelia felt the pull. She knew this was a moment of reckoning. Driven by an unseen force, she moved to the front. Each step echoed with the sound of drumming hearts, harmonizing with the energy in the air. She felt the weight of her past burdens lift with each breath, no longer heavy and burdensome but light as a feather. Who among you will take the leap? The voice reverberated, a question posed to everyone. Eyes darted, souls searched. Mark, standing firm amidst the crowd, shouted, "I will." His voice cut through the hesitation, sparking courage in others. Amelia turned to him, a smile breaking through her tears. In that moment, their eyes locked, and an understanding realized. Transformation was not merely an individual journey but a collective endeavor. Just then a wave of voices rose up, harmonizing with one heartbeat. "We will." This proclamation was not just words. It was a declaration of intent. It was belief ignited, determined to venture forth and embrace a future thick with purpose and love. The figure smiled down upon them, radiant and affirming. "Then come. Your lives are about to shift. Prepare to embody the love that you crave." A bright light surged forward, enveloping each and every member of the congregation, intertwining them like branches of a divine tree. Joy exploded within Amelia. Tears of faith mixed with the warm embrace of divine presence. She felt reborn, a new chapter unfurling before her. "Embrace your mission. Walk in love." The voice called out, reframing their understanding of faith into action. Questions hung in the air, but answers lingered just beyond reach, a tantalizing mystery inviting exploration. Suddenly, a soft whisper brushed against Amelia's ear. "Your journey begins not within these walls, but outside where hearts are hungry." She looked around, noticing the faces around her glowing with expectation, as if sensing the gravity of this moment as well. What lay beyond the doors of their sanctuary? The world outside was bustling, filled with need and yearning. They had felt the divine, and now it was time to share that light. Mark grabbed Amelia's hand, a grounding presence amidst the electric atmosphere. "Together?" he asked, eyes filled with conviction. "Always," she replied with a warmth that uplifted her spirit. "Let us shine where it matters." As they stepped into the world beyond those church doors, the realization hit them: transformation wouldn't only be for themselves, but for everyone they encountered. The community awaited their light, eligible hearts longing for change. Just then the voice echoed once more, resonating in their minds as they stepped bravely outside. "You will illuminate the shadows. But first face the challenges that await." The resolve surged within them, weaving together an irresistible energy to overcome fears. With hearts aligned in unity, they ventured forth, ready to embrace the unknown on this journey. But would they be ready for what awaited them? What trials and miracles would they encounter, as they stepped into a world yearning for them to ignite the divine fire? The adventure was only just beginning. The air buzzed with an electric hum as Amelia and Mark stepped out into the vibrant street. The sun spilled golden light all around them, illuminating faces filled with stories untold. Every glance was an invitation, every smile a glimpse of hidden pain. Yet these souls were ripe for the healing light they carried. "Look at them," Mark whispered, awe filling his voice as he surveyed the scene before them. "So many lives waiting. They need to feel this light," Amelia breathed, her heart quickening at the realization of their mission. With each passing moment, the echoes of the sacred message filled her anew. This was not just their journey. It was a movement of love. Together they wandered down the path, noticing the signs around them. People hustled by, distracted. Yet, every so often, a fleeting glance would meet theirs, a spark of recognition, a silent call for connection. Amelia felt a magnetic pull toward a young woman sitting alone on a park bench, her shoulders slumped, eyes cast down as if the weight of the world pressed heavily on her soul. "Let us speak to her," Mark urged gently, feeling the urgency of the moment as they approached. Amelia could sense the unspoken cries for hope enveloping the woman. Taking a deep breath, she knelt beside her. "Hi there," she began softly. "I'm Amelia and this is Mark. We've come to share some light with you today." The woman looked up, startled but intrigued. Her eyes flickered with curiosity but also with skepticism. "Light? What do you mean by that?" Amelia smiled, her heart responding to the familiar crinkling of doubt. "Sometimes we don't realize how much love there is waiting for us. We've just stepped out of a place filled with hope and joy, and we want you to feel that too. You're not alone." With those words, a shift occurred. There was a moment like a breath held between sighs, where the weight around the woman melted away just a little. "I didn't think anyone cared," she murmured, vulnerability spilling forth. Mark leaned in as well, warmth radiating from him. "We care. We need each other to grow and heal. There's a journey ahead, and you're welcome to join us. Would you like to talk?" Tentatively, the young woman nodded, and in that instant Amelia and Mark could see a flicker of hope ignite a tiny flame that could spark into something beautiful as they conversed. The three of them became a web of shared experiences. Stories of heartache, loss, and the longings for something more blended together. With each exchange, the light of divine love flashed in their hearts, resonating loudly like a bell chiming in the distance. But as their bond deepened, Amelia felt a disturbance. A shadow loomed over the horizon, whispering thoughts of doubt. A voice inside her urged caution. Could their light truly make a difference in the darkness? Each soul they met bore burdens too heavy for words, and the enormity of their task began to sink in. "Do we have what it takes?" she wondered aloud, uncertainty creeping in like a cold wind. Mark sensed her turmoil. "If we're guided by love, then yes we do. Remember, it's not just us. It's him shining through us." His words rang with truth, reinforcing their purpose. Then the whispered voice within shifted, becoming more urgent. "Yes, but the real challenges are yet to come. Will you be brave enough to face them?" Amelia's heart raced with rising anticipation. They had taken the first step, but what lay ahead? Little did they know. The divine adventure was about to reveal itself in ways they could never imagine. As they embraced the stranger, the world around them began to shimmer with possibilities. What trials awaited their newfound friendship? With deeper resolve, they prepared their hearts, ready to face whatever came next. After all, the true essence of transformation was born not in ease, but in the fiery crucible of challenges they would find out together. As the golden sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the pavement, Amelia felt a stirring within her. The bond with the young woman, whose name she learned was Clara, had ignited a spark she hadn't felt in years. They sat there on the park bench, and the world around them faded into a soft background hum. "What if we could just," Clara began, a spark of hope threading through her voice. "What if we could change everything? Not just for ourselves but for others?" Her eyes shone with an ember of possibility, reflected in the warmth of Amelia's gaze. Mark watched silently, his heart swelling with a mixture of joy and concern. Clara had begun to unearth her pain, yet she was also beginning to dream. Dreams could lift burdens, but they could also bring new fears. "Faith can move mountains," Mark spoke up, grounding them in their mission. "What we believe can reshape our reality. If we remember that we don't walk this path alone, the burdens become lighter." "What do you believe?" Clara asked, her voice tremulous, inquisitive yet searching. Amelia took a deep breath. "I believe that love can heal. It's the very fabric of life itself. It connects us all." Those words hung in the air like a promise. With every syllable they seemed to weave together threads of light, and Amelia's heart swelled with an inexplicable peace. Yet, just as quickly as the comfort settled in, shadows danced at the corners of her mind. What if this love wasn't enough? What if those they wished to help pushed them away instead? Suddenly Mark broke through her thoughts. "Let us not just talk about love. Let us do something." His enthusiasm was palpable, and the energy around them began to shift. "How about we invite more people? Share this light with others?" "Yeah," Clara chimed in, her spirit brightening. "If we can bring hope to just one more person, imagine what could happen." Fueled by shared resolve, They stood up from the park bench. The vibrant street called to them like a beacon, full of souls wandering in their own shadows, unaware of the light awaiting them. With each step, Amelia felt the tingle of anticipation mingling with trepidation. As they approached a nearby cafe, she noticed a man sitting alone at a table, staring at his coffee with a distant gaze. The weight of sorrow seemed to hang in the air around him. "Let us speak to him," she suggested, her voice firm yet gentle. They approached, and the man looked up, surprise etched on his face. "What do you want?" he grumbled, the weariness of his spirit palpable. Amelia took a breath. "We have something to share that might lighten your day." The man's skepticism was plain. "What could you possibly have that would help me?" Clara stepped forward hesitantly but determinedly. "What if we told you there's a hope that endures? We just want to remind you that you're not alone." His eyes flickered. She felt the tension melt slightly, yet doubt still clouded his heart. Mark, sensing the moment, added, "Sometimes speaking just 2 words can change everything. Will you allow us to share the light?" The man hesitated, searching their faces for sincerity. In that heartbeat the weight around them shifted, and there was a deeper silence, as if the world held its breath. What if he said yes? What 2 miraculous words awaited him? Within Amelia's heart, a prayer rose for the courage that drew them forward, uniting them in purpose once more. What lay ahead in this life-changing moment? Would they witness the miracle of transformation, or would the shadows tighten their grip? They stood, ready to embrace whatever came next. In that precious stillness a heartbeat echoed in the space. It felt electric. Then, as if sensing the divine tension, the man's lips softened slightly, and for the first time, he truly looked at them. His eyes, deep pools of sorrow, flickered like candles struggling against the wind. "What do you mean by hope?" he whispered, finally lowering his guard just a little. Amelia stepped forward, her heart swelling with determination. "Hope is the light that shines even in the darkest of nights. It's the belief that, with love, we can face anything. Let us remind you that storms don't last forever." As if touched by something greater, the man closed his eyes briefly. Was it a prayer? Or was it a longing for something lost? Clara shared a glance with Mark, their spirits ignited by a shared vision that this moment was bigger than just the 3 of them. "Sometimes," Mark said softly, "we get so lost in our pain that we forget there's a path to healing. We want to walk with you on that path." The man stiffened at this, uncertainty creeping back into his posture. "And what if that path leads me nowhere? I've walked too many roads that ended in disappointment." Clara leaned closer, her voice steady and kind. "Every journey bears surprises. You may find truths waiting for you just around the corner. Things you never expected. Sometimes it's about trusting what we can't see." The man opened his eyes again, his gaze searching theirs. "What do you want from me?" "You don't know me yet, we do know you," Amelia replied earnestly. "We know the burden you carry. We know the heaviness of a heart that feels isolated. And we want to share in that, to help lift it together." A silence enveloped them, rich with the promise of a choice yet to unfold. The world quieted as if holding its breath, waiting for the man's response. Clara reached for a table edge, her fingers brushing the surface lightly. It felt as if the air thickened with wonder, and the divine whispered around them. The man's brow furrowed, battling his fears and the unfamiliar warmth pulling him forward. "And if I say yes, what changes?" Mark exhaled softly, his heart echoing with hope. "You will step towards love, a love unlike any other. You will find the strength you never knew you had." And then something shifted. The man's shoulders relaxed, and he let out a deep sigh, heavy but releasing. "'Kay, show me." Joy ignited within Amelia's heart, and Clara almost couldn't contain her excitement. They clasped hands, a circle of light drawing close. Together they prayed aloud, a gentle prayer buzzing with anticipation and faith. The words flowed like living water, cascading over their worries, saturating the space with the divine fragrance of hope and healing. As their voices intertwined, they felt a gentle breeze swirl around them, filling the cafe with a warmth that invited the divine presence, a sweet reminder that they were not alone. The man listened, tears glistening in the corners of his eyes, as if the very pain he held began to dissolve into something lighter. But just as hope soared, an unfamiliar sound broke through the moment, a loud crash from the cafe door. The entrance flung open, revealing a figure silhouetted in the dim light. a rush of noise trailing in. What is happening here? The newcomer demanded, piercing the fragile embrace of their sacred moment. Amelia's heart raced. Who was this? What challenge awaited them now, and how would it affect their journey together? The air was thick with anticipation, and within it hung a divine mystery that enveloped them all. What revelation awaited in the midst of this interruption? Would they find strength in unity, or would fear drive them apart? The next chapter of their story was beckoning. The figure at the door stepped closer, a storm of urgency filling the space. It was a woman, hair tousled and eyes blazing with intensity. Shadows danced across her features as she took in the scene, three souls entwined in a moment of prayer, and a man hovering on the brink of change. What is this? She interrupted, her voice sharp yet trembling, as if she were caught between fear and a deeper calling. Did I stumble into some kind of healing circle? Mark felt the weight of her words pressing on the fragile atmosphere. He sensed the potential for fear to spread like wildfire, if they didn't meet the challenge with love. It's not what it seems, he said gently. We're just offering support to someone in need. Need? The woman's scoff felt like ice. What do you know about need? You sit here cozy and safe while the world breaks outside. She gestured wildly, heart racing too fast to contain. I was just outside and you wouldn't believe the pain I saw. It's everywhere. Amelia swallowed hard, her heart aching for this fiery stranger. You're right. Pain does exist, often overwhelming and all-consuming. But we believe there's hope too. She paused, sensing the shift in the air, the tension thick like fog. And yet you're so willing to ignore the truth. The woman exclaimed, frustration spilling over. I've been searching for answers. Everything I've faced, it makes me want to scream. Why should I trust in hope when my life has been one crushing blow after another? The man, caught in the midst of their charged exchange, felt that familiar tug in his heart. The desperation mirrored his own. It's scary, isn't it? He ventured softly, looking from one woman to the other. The thought that hope might lead us where we've never wanted to go. What if I told you hope is sometimes hidden in the hardest places? Clara interjected, her voice like a soothing balm. What if the storms and struggles are where growth begins? It's okay to feel fear, but it's what we do with that fear that matters. The woman stared, her defenses wavering, shaken by the sincerity of their words. For a brief moment, she flickered like a candle in the wind, as if the glimmer of something divine reached her heart. What do you want me to see? She asked, almost a whisper now, the fight leaving her voice. I don't know how to find hope. The man nodded, and they stood together, united in their vulnerability. Let us dare to step into the unknown together. I may not have the answers, but maybe, just maybe, we can find a little hope, even in darkness. In that sacred space, Amelia felt a surge of warmth encompassing them, intertwining their spirits. There was a stirring and unshakable belief that hope was present, ready to burst forth even amid doubt. But before they could speak again, a low rumble echoed from the cafe door, a reminder of the world outside. The air shimmered as if something celestial hovered nearby. Suddenly visions danced on the edges of their hearts, revelations whispered to their souls, begging to be embraced. Listen, the woman breathed, her eyes wide. What is that feeling? Mark closed his eyes, sensing the divine pulse racing through the cafe. Change, something is shifting. We have only begun to tap into what can be. As they stood on the threshold of something profound, Clara's heart quickened. Would they be ready to encounter the storm, or the calm that lay ahead? The sacred stillness gifted them a moment of grace, beckoning them towards a revelation of God's handiwork. What awaited them next? The next chapter called out in a silent plea, urging them to unlock the mysteries, begging for their faith. Courageous revelation was just beyond the door. As the heaviness in the cafe embraced them, Amelia sensed the tension in the air, thick and electric with possibility. The divine pulse hummed deeper within her, igniting memories of shared burdens and whispered wishes. All around her, hearts beat with unspoken hope, eager to bridge the divide between pain and healing. Hope is just beyond the veil, she asserted gently, her voice firm as she made eye contact with the woman in turmoil. If we can open ourselves to the light, perhaps that very darkness you've encountered can become a stepping stone towards something beautiful. The woman, whose name they learned was Sarah, slowly sank into silence, her defenses softening like the ice melting under the sun. But how can we believe amidst chaos? She asked, her eyes shimmering with uncertainty, reflecting the flickering candlelight. Because even the smallest spark can light the darkest night, Clara interjected, her voice laced with steel and tenderness. We can choose to be that spark. As we face our fears together, we can cultivate seeds of trust and hope. Each word was like balm, aimed at healing wounds hidden beneath their shared vulnerability. Mark nodded passionately, emboldened by the shift in their atmosphere. None of us can predict the storms we'll face, but we can embrace love as our guide, a light that pierces through the darkest clouds. Together, we are stronger than we realize. As they lingered in that moment, a gathering woven in sincerity, an undeniable wave of warmth enveloped them. The room shifted again, responding to their collective yearning. The voice that had once reverberated through the church now seemed present, calling to them with a gentle authority. Step into the light, it whispered, shifting the shadows that loomed. This is your moment. Amelia inhaled deeply, feeling the warmth in her chest swell with renewed purpose. She turned to Sarah and the man whose name was David. Let us not just talk about hope. Let us act. Right here, right now. Who will join us? David raised his hand hesitantly. Fueled by newfound courage, I will. Sarah's eyes sparkled as she mirrored his bold declaration. And me. I'm ready to face the darkness. Together, Mark echoed, his heart racing with the promise of transformation. Let us gather those in need around us. Let us shine. With hearts set on the mission, they emerged from the cafe, seeking souls waiting to feel that divine embrace. As they stepped into the sunlight, life bustled around them, a symphony of laughter and chatter filtering through the air. It was vibrant, alive, yet many wore masks of indifference. Amelia saw a young man leaning against a wall, shoulders slumped, eyes cast to the ground. He needed them. Hey there. Clara called out warmly, urging him to meet her gaze. Are you okay? He looked up, surprise flickering in his eyes. Why do you care? Because we believe in the power of community, Amelia replied, stepping closer. Love can heal even the deepest wounds. You are not alone. The young man blinked, skepticism melting slowly, replaced by yearning. It all hurts so much I don't know how I can keep going, he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. In every storm lies the promise of a rainbow, Mark stated, stepping forward with confidence. Let us walk together, through the heavy rain and into the light. You don't have to carry this alone. In that fragile moment, the young man hesitated, but something deep within shifted. He nodded slowly, allowing the warmth of community to seep into his soul. Okay, let us do it. I want to believe again. Cheers erupted as the unfolding miracle began. One by one, more souls stepped forward, drawn by the radiant light that now enveloped the group. Each new addition to their motley crew was met with laughter, warmth, and acceptance, transforming fear into a flowing river of faith. As illuminated faces gathered, Amelia felt the atmosphere thrum with vitality. She looked into each heart, recognizing the intricate tapestry of struggles mirrored within them. Trust and hope echoed through their gathering, binding them tighter in divine love. Let us pray together, each for our own burdens and for one another, Amelia suggested. They formed a circle, hands clasped tightly, shoulders brushing, hearts pounding in harmony. Let this be our offering. Let us be vessels of His grace. Voices rose, a soft chorus blending their intentions in a sacred rhythm. Each prayer released light into their midst, a tangible energy that shimmered and twirled like golden leaves in the wind. Tears streamed down Amelia's face as she felt the shared weight of their hopes rise higher and higher. With each plea, she sensed that this was more than their moment, it was a seminal shift in their journey. A renewal of faith that could radiate into the world beyond. As they finished, the sun set low, casting a brilliant golden hue over them. A divine painting unveiled on nature's canvas. We leave this place transformed, Amelia proclaimed, her heart full. This is our time to shine. They stepped forward, hands clasped, braving the path ahead, transformed warriors of love, ready to face their next challenges, united by faith and empowered by hope. Let us change the world together, Sarah cried as they ventured into the unfolding night. The shadows that once evoked fear had now become companions in their journey, not to extinguish but to illuminate the brilliance of divine possibilities. Their hearts, once laden with burdens, now soared in unison, an anthem of praise echoing through the universe. And so, with renewed purpose and a powerful call to shine, They dove headfirst into the unknown, the adventure of a lifetime ahead of them, waiting to unfurl the wonders that God had in store. This was a journey rooted in faith, a testament thrumming with the vibrancy of transformation. Now, beloved, you have journeyed with us through trials of faith and miracles. We urge you, if you felt the stirring within, subscribe immediately to our channel. You need to be part of the next exclusive faith stories that await. Leave a like now to fuel this momentum. It's a simple act with a profound impact on spreading hope far and wide. Comment below your reactions and testimonies. Your voice matters in continuing this divine conversation. And wait even one more second. Share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of faith. True servants of God recognize the importance of such actions. Together, let us illuminate darkness everywhere.